Good evening, everyone. It's 9:41 p.m., May 26th, 2025, and I pretty much have balance, a volume imbalance chart, and also the delta right here in this histogram. Uh, what imbalances are pretty much significant differences between the buy and sell volumes at adjacent price levels. Uh, They're often highlighted, and you could change it on your platform. I have sell imbalances highlighted in this like this orange color, and I have buy imbalances in this like greenish aqua color. And like an example, like a buy imbalance occurs when buy volume at one price level exceeds the sell volume at the adjacent price, which is right here, and by a certain percentage. So typically, um, bunch of footprint traders, they use 300%, which is default, or 400%, depending on what you want to look at. But basically, it'll indicate for buying, it's buying pressure or potential support. For the sell, it'll be selling pressure or potential resistance. So let's see how this actually works in real time. No buying imbalances, selling imbalances here. Nothing here. You have a couple of buying imbalances. So let's say support. All right, so this one probably would have, if you would have went long here, it probably would have made sense to do it. Uh, you have to be quick because, at the end of this candle, which is a minute, you're pretty much, you know, back below it. So would this be good for an entry? Let's see. You buying a balance here. All right, so it's saying support. What I would be thinking is price comes up and then comes back down and hits a support level, which you would go long from there. All right. So price comes up, you go long right here. Back down, you go long right here or long right here, and they come back up. So this would have probably gave you, probably a point for a scalp, for maybe a minute. It's worth the work. It's not bad. Of course, you're going to come back down. Now, here's a bunch of selling imbalances. All right. And we wait for the candle to close because these things can change. So here's a selling imbalance. So if it comes down here, it's telling you to do nothing because this is a resistance. So it's got to come down, then come back up to it. You'll take your short here and then come back down. All right. So don't know if we would have got filled yet. Would have to tick to get filled unless you mark it in, which you have no control over that. Over the fill with the market, it'll give you the best next price. And if you're dealing with a illiquid, meaning not many bids and offers at each level, you'll have what's called slippage, and you could be ticks, points sometimes, really depending on the volume, especially if there's no volume. So you want to avoid that at all costs. Okay, so we got a bunch of selling imbalances here. All right, so let's take a look at what we have here. We have a level of support at 869, which is right here. Now this is telling me we'll come down from here. All right, but we need to come up first from it. So let's see what, or if we get up here, if price actually comes up here, we may get a drop down. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Go ahead and get, I'm not going to execute. So I typically just don't do that. But let's see if this theory is correct. And it's never going to work 100%. So you always want to have a stop. So we're going here. Actually short here. There is no imbalances here. Well, this actually makes sense because we have a 9 EMA here. Let's see. So if I put a line here like we have an order, we have to hit the order, go above it now in order to get filled on a limit order. It's that level. Now you have a buying imbalance. So if the selling imbalance is here and you have a buying imbalance here, we have 870.50 as a price. And if it went below here, I mean, it may be worth a point. Let's say we have two of them now. Well, that one, see how they just change? Now we have two of them here. We still haven't gotten, okay. So now we would have been filled. Let's see what happens here. Now remember, you got buying imbalances here. Okay, so you would have been up a point right now. And this is where you put your stop, at least to break even. Showing some resistance here because this is pretty much support. We have negative 13, so we can still go down. Negative 14, so all of this delta is negative. But you could have booked a point, actually. So same thing with this. So let's say we got out of that trade. Or if you went to break even, you're still running a trade down. So that would have been maybe 2.25 points. Just on that one strategy. I kind of hope it didn't work out because it has a lot to do. When you trade, there's more going on than just a setup like that. You're looking at volume, looking at a bunch of things, looking at news, micro events, macro events, where the concentration of funds are, like in your point of controls. All right, so this one here, I mean, we go up one. All right, so that one would have worked. So go ahead and let's delete this. And these were buying. This is no longer valid. This one is. Price hasn't hit it yet. So see if we could go below here. We wouldn't have got filled yet. See if this one would have went. The resistance. This should give us resistance. All right, we got filled on this yet. We have to go above it. If you market it in with a market order, you probably would have been filled somewhere in here. Now, still, this is valid, even though we got a bullish candle. Remember, all this changes depending on how it plays out, the trade plays out. You got a buying imbalance here. So if we came in from the top, that could have been support. We go back up, but now it's no longer there. The imbalance between these two is less than 300%. So now you have a selling imbalance. Now you don't have a selling imbalance, you see? You still have negative delta. So the way I'm explaining this is what I see. And by reviewing the video a few times, it'll click. I see a lot of folks who explain. It's very static the way they explain it. This is real-time explaining, and I think it's better in a long term to see things happen and have it explained in a context. Imbalances here, no imbalances here. Yeah, we do. So let's see what happens here. So we'd have to come up one tick above here. So a tick above 870.25 is where we would get filled. We wouldn't have gotten filled yet. You go one tick above here to get filled. So right now we have positive delta here. We had positive delta here. We have more positive delta here. Okay, now we would have been filled. So now the expectation is to come down. Now, if you're playing this, you'd have to figure out where your stop is. But some sort of strategy like that, I would probably put my stop. Okay, there you go. You would have won it. You had a point right there. Now you still got some selling imbalances. So what do? You go to break even or a tick, at least book a tick. This is all negative delta, all selling imbalances. We came up from the top and we came back down. We're back in here. Now these could change. And this would be a pretty good trade. Like I said before, disclaimer, it's not going to work 100% or everybody would be doing this. But we have these selling imbalances. So we would need to go below it and then come back up to it. Very small candle. It's got a positive delta. Take a look at delta here. Actually, this is a very good explanation here for delta. Delta is 0 here because you have 3 buyers and sellers. So it's 0 delta. It cancels each other out. You got 14 sellers, 9 buyers. You should have -5, which is what it is. You have 19 sellers, 2 buyers, -17. Right? So it's telling you that sellers are in control. So we'll see how this pans out. Or buyers are coming in. These could also be passive buyers. Aggressive sellers or passive buyers. So if we go up, you could assume, and I hate to do that, that they were buyers sitting there. Such small price action. Really need you need more volume to really make and see a lot more detail. At least I do. All right, so we have a buying imbalance. So this should be support. So if it comes up and then comes back down, we should be able to go long. Okay? So let's see what happened. Do we go up one? We got to break through, come back down, and then go up. Let's see. Now, being that you have some of these sometimes are stacked where you have one on top of the other, that's better. Single single imbalances are not as strong as double or even triple imbalances. That's even stronger. Let's see if we have one. Like, if we did. Maybe it was that. Wow, there you go. That's strong. You see the sellers? Right down. These, we never got a chance to get that low. You always keep that in mind, though, right here. You have sellers here. The higher it goes up, the more likely they're going to get trapped. And then they're going to have to sell at one point. Probably not 1 or 2 or 3 or even 5 or 10 points. But at some point, it'll come back down. Like over here, we're just spacing out. There's really nothing going on here. Have buying imbalance here. So if it's going to be a support, we need to come up and then come back down. Meaning that this could be support, and this is a point of control. You can see how this plays out. So the point of control is below. We have sellers here. You have a selling imbalance here. These sellers are happier that the price action is below them. Now remember, this could act as resistance. So if it passes below this level, we can make it high. So let's see if that's the case. So far, nothing. Very small numbers up on top. Primarily have a lot of selling up in here. We're unable to get higher. There could be a buyer in here. Okay, so we drop down, come back up. So the short would be right here. So let's see if we go, how low we go from here. If we go low, lower. Right now you got 68, you got 75 sellers here. Unless there's a buyer sitting here absorbing all of it, and you'll see it by the volume picking up, and the price action doesn't go anywhere. So there appears to be a big buyer here, but we're not actually seeing the volume kick in. You would see this volume really fly up. These selling imbalances. There's a bunch of selling imbalances here. Same thing. Tag. So if you would have went short there, you would have took about a point of heat, and you would have made 2.5 points. So that's pretty much it. You just gotta see how the price action price action plays out, and that's how you would trade imbalances. Anyway, I hope you got some value out of this. I'm a little tired, but I wanted to put a video out. Tomorrow I have to take care of some personal matters, so hopefully I'll be in a little later, at least for the close, and do a little trading. But anyway, if you like this kind of content, please like, subscribe, and comment. And if you comment, I'll get back to you. And if you stayed this long, I appreciate it. Thanks. See you in the next one.